Hello, boils and ghouls. Welcome to Dads from the Crypt. My name is Jason. I'll be your host tonight with Mondo.
Hi.
Hi. And Jody.
I don't even know what's funny, but it's getting me.
Am I the only one who didn't take an edible tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just happy to have power in my house right now.
You're just running on fumes from 24 hours of hurricane warnings.
No, we this Tennessee used to not get tornadoes like this, but climate hasn't changed. But now we do get tornadoes, and we've had a crazy March. My power has been out for like 48 hours between the last 2 weeks at some point. That's a lot of time with no power in your house, by the way.
Yeah, no heat, no power, no laundry. You have that many kids to do you gotta do laundry.
No
constantly.
laundry, no internet. My job just shuts down. I'm like, well, I guess I can't work.
I feel like I have to disagree about this climate change thing because the other day, this guy in a truck on YouTube said he did his research. Climate change doesn't exist. So
never mind then. Let's just scrap all this. Start over. New episode.
Also, we already canceled, so Dad's so woke.
Yeah. Weather phenomena woke as shit.
Yes.
It's not just like believing in science is woke. Like, fuck, dude. Like, thousands of years of research has gone into some of these things. But you read some weird article and now you're an expert on it. Joe the welder. Welding's not a knock on welders. Welding is a hard
That's a hard job. Yeah.
But I wouldn't tell a welder how to do his job. I wouldn't expect a welder to be able to tell a scientist about the gravitational pull. And I don't know. I'm just gonna give up.
Well, we get into this so quick every week. Like, this is our intro every time now. We're just straight for it. It's 2025. We're pissed off.
Who wants to be alienated?
All right. Well, speaking of bowing to our corporate overlords, I want to remind everyone that we are doing a partnership with Fright Rags for the next couple months. We are going next week. We're going to be covering reviewing Phantasm. They have a wonderful new Phantasm line of shirts that just came out. Check them out. And we are going to be giving away a gift card to Fright Rags to one of our patrons, not all of our patrons.
A binding legal contract just got dropped on the air.
I know. To one of our patrons. So if you're not a Patreon, make sure you sign up. The raffle will be happening. I think it's probably I'll do the Friday after the episode comes out. I think that's Friday I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
A week from Friday. But you sign up for our Patreon. For every level you're at, you get extra tickets. Yada yada yada. And then also you can get extra tickets by leaving us an Apple review and sending it to our email at dadsfromthecrypt@gmail.com. One other thing I want to shamelessly promote is our friends at Slashers Axe Throwing in Ales, because those things all go together. It's a axe throwing joint in Costa Mesa for your Southern California peoples. Friday, March 21st from 6:30 to 8:30. They're having purge nights. So they're going to have free you can win free tickets and beers and t-shirts and much, much more. So you can wear masks and costumes and all other kinds of things that I'm sure will enhance your axe throwing prowess.
I mean, if it's a purge night,
legal while you're there.
If it's purge night, I'm just taking the beer.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to do this.
While you're here, there is no crime. You can take whatever
exactly. You want. I'd love to go, but it's in the Orange County on a Friday night is impossible to get to. So I'll be there.
It's impossible. I think it's just hideous.
Yes, that too. Well, by 6:30 from where I am, by 6 to 6:30 it would be near impossible. All right. But tonight we are talking some more Creepshow. We're talking episode 5 of season 3, which came out October 21st, 2021. Jody, start us off with the first segment.
All right. So our first segment this time is called Time Out. And in this one, a guy named Tim, he goes to his grandfather's memorial service. And while he's rummaging around, he finds a key to an old armoire. He got in Germany during World War II. He took it from a house after collecting valuables that the Nazis had stolen.
How does he get an armoire back from World War II?
I don't know. That's not the kind of thing you stick in your pocket and then just go back home. I don't know how they got
Apparently, you can't get a monkey paw though.
You can, yeah. That was one of the things they collected from this house. So Tim unlocks the armoire, but his grandmother stops him from going inside, saying that time can't be cheated, even if it can be tricked. So years later, after Tim is in law school and he's trying to pass the bar, he wants to be a lawyer like his father. The grandmother has died, and she's donated the armoire to Tim. According to his will, including the key for it. So when his roommate is out, first there's a party, and he's got his crush over, and they stay up too late, and he doesn't get any studying done, and he's got a major exam. And so he remembers his grandma saying something about time with this armoire, and he remembers seeing his grandfather go into the armoire at some point. So he thought, you know what, I'm gonna step into the armoire and see what happens. And what happens is time outside the armoire basically doesn't pass, while time inside the armoire does. So you can get in there, and what Tim does is he uses it to study. And so he does all of his studying that he should have done over the course of a whole night, and walks out, and it's the exact same time it was when he went in. And so he has all this extra time now, and he uses that to really advance in his law school. He passes the bar. He gets into a prestigious law firm and rises up the ranks pretty quickly because he can do work faster than anybody else, because he takes the work home with him, goes in the armoire, spends however long it takes to get the work done, and then comes out and no time has passed. So it looks like he's just flying. But what they start to realize, though, the you can't cheat death part, or can't cheat time, is while he's in there, he continues aging. And so as a man in his 30s, he starts having health problems that someone 10 years older than him should be having. He starts getting physically weaker because he's aging so much more. And so he decides, you know what, I need to stop doing this. This is bad for me. But then a chance to make partner in his law firm shows up, and it's kind of the last thing. And so he goes into the armoire again. And this time, as he goes in, he puts his key in his robe pocket. And it's worth mentioning, the key locks on the outside to let you in, but it also has to be used on the inside to let you back out. And Tim goes in, gets started, and then realizes the key has fallen outside through a hole in his pocket before he got in. And his little son is in the room, and he's calling for his son to help him. Meanwhile, the sun is moving at like infinitesimally slow speeds compared to what's happening inside the armoire. And so when his son does get the key and opens it up, he sees his dad, Tim, as a very, very old man who turns into dust just as he opens the door. And
very, very Last Crusade.
Yeah. And then Tim, or the little boy, wants to know what happened to his dad. So he steps into the armoire, also without the key, and the doors close behind him as we see a child die or prepare to die at the end of this episode. He's going to age very quickly and turn into dust. So yeah, that's a happy ending, I guess.
Well, it's not just that time. It's not just that time passes. I think it's more accelerated.
Right.
It's like two or three times.
I think it's one of those. It's accelerated because of how slow time is passing outside. It's one of those time travel things. The time travel things get tricky, but
it's not like for like every 1 minute you spend in there. No, right. It's like an hour per minute or something crazy like that.
Right. So he's able to get a ton done in that while he's in there, but it ages him very, very quickly.
Right. All right, Mondo, what do you think of this segment?
I think it took years off my life. I'm just kidding. I like the idea behind it. I thought it actually had some really good thoughts of where I was trying to go. I just think it took a really long time to get there. I don't know. Maybe it was me, but this episode seemed like it was 3 hours long as opposed to the 25, 30-minute runtime it had. But also shows, the whole thing, how he put more emphasis on his job than he put on his own physical health or his well-being, which rings true to a lot of us in the 30 to, at this point, 85 age group. So, I mean, we're all going to work till we're 90. Let's just be honest at this point, because, whatever. but I really like the themes of it. I just think it could have been condensed a little bit more. I think the idea was great, but just didn't have enough to flesh out an entire, this long of a segment, at least. Maybe 5 minutes less would have tightened it up some.
Yeah, I really feel you on that, because like it kind of resets a bunch of times because it's going through different like eras, but we're not quite sub. So at the very beginning, when it starts in World War II, I'm like, oh, okay, we're getting like a throwback period piece. And like, nope, we're going to this other time, like 40 years past that when he's a kid. Like, oh no, wait, now he's going to college. Oh wait, now he's an adult.
Right.
So like, I think they could have shortened up those segments a bit, or maybe I hate to say narration or like some sort of recap, because that's that can be a little hacky, a little lazy. But like, yeah, I really could have punched up the opening.
Yeah, it feels like it tries to do a little too much, I think. But overall, I like the story. I like the ideas. But yeah, trying to cover somebody from like a small child through, all the way through, making partner in this law firm and turning into a dust ball, that's a lot to have to cram into a 25-minute episode.
Yeah, they could have jumped to different periods of his life, like maybe not gone every time he got promotion at work. Like they could, or go all the way, right? Janitor, or whatever, paralegal, like just every single rank he gets to senior partner. But I think they could have just made larger jumps in that time frame, and the impact would have been there. But
it makes a little montaging along the way.
Yeah. Well, it makes me think of the Crypt episode, Dig That Cat, where he's in the casket. He's kind of retelling how we got to that point. I think that a little framing device like that would have smoothed things out a bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then have him realize, oh shit, I forgot the key outside.
Did they have to kill the cat?
I think you care more about the cat than the kid.
Well, I did think it's interesting that at the end, I figured this is going to kind of be like the curse of the bloodline. Where this armoire keeps getting handed down generation to generation, but technically, when you think about it, the death of the child would end the curse, or end that armoire hurting that family or whatnot. So that I don't know if that's what they're going for, because I also think about it. Well, again, guess what? A new family now has to get this armoire and get this curse. So,
because I'm assuming after this all happens and mom starts frantically looking for her kid, she's going to wander out to the garage and see the key on the ground. Then mom's going to go in. She's going to die. And we're just going to keep on doing this. New people move in. They all go in. They die.
It's going to turn into Looney Tuesday where no one even thinks to pick the key up that's in front of the armoire.
What I thought was going to happen is that the mom was going to come out after like 10 minutes and open it. And he was going to be like, obviously an older man. And be all confused and have like a big moment of like, what did you do with my kid? Kind of thing. And that would be like the moment. But like they kind of leave it like, oh no, this kid's fucked.
Yeah. The weird thing too with the main character, it seemed like he was internally aging faster than he was externally aging.
Yeah.
Well, like they made some hints here, like, oh look, he's got a beard, but his face still looks just as young as it did before.
So I did like every time is always an issue on these things, and they pull off some really like great creature makeup. They didn't pull off great old age makeup in this one. It did look like he had a beard glued to his face on multiple occasions.
Well, because every time he goes in, I think usually he has like a very short beard or like no beard. Then he comes out and they like glue the beard on. It just kind of draws a lot of attention to itself.
Yeah,
it seems like they kind of skimped on the wrinkles and maybe change the complexion. Just give him a longer beard every single time he goes in this fucking thing.
Mondo, I just saw the picture you sent me of the Beast Mortos. That was not what I was expecting.
What are you expecting?
I don't know, but that's making me feel things I need to process.
I am very confused as to why he would do that, but
hey, we all have our thing.
Are you a furry?
Yeah. He actually looks pretty hairless to me, but
He didn't say no. For the record, Jason did not say no. And if he is, that's okay. We don't kink shame here on Dads from the Crypt.
No. I do child murder shame. It's kind of like, oh god, like
yeah, that's a fair thing.
Well, okay, so I'm watching this show called The Pit, which you've talked about a bunch, which is like an ER style show.
I'm not caught up. So
okay, well, I'm on like episode 8, but they like kill off 2 kids in one episode. And I'm like, seriously,
dude.
What's with my wife?
Hold
She's
on,
just crying.
Fucking spoilers for a show that's currently ongoing right now, dude.
I didn't say which kids or which episodes.
I mean, I'm assuming people are dying like on a fairly regular basis on the show, right? I mean, it is awesome.
But...
Yeah,
I'm gonna say no more because I'm already disappointed. No. You're cool, Jody, but Jason, disappointed.
Glad I made the cut.
Do we have an episode where I don't disappoint you on some level? You're not mad, you're just disappointed.
I mean, most of them actually, Jason. I mean, you don't disappoint me very often, except for right now.
Okay, well, I'll have to make it up to you. What else? Yeah, the cast. This is all right. The cake looked nice. Good cake work.
I mean, you really don't even have time to get to know anybody in this episode very much because he just doing work all the time. Like it's basically an episode about a guy doing his job like all the time, which is not the most exciting thing to watch.
It reminds me of when Dreamcast had this game come out called Shenmue, and it's like this is one of the, it was the first ever open world immersive games. And there's a part in the game where like you just have to work for a week straight by driving a forklift.
Yep.
I didn't get to buy this fucking game to work.
Also, I liked how his work basically meant that he reorganized the box of papers.
You would take a box from one side of a warehouse and take the other side.
But now it's been stacked and organized.
I have all the messy papers now.
Time.
Like, wow, this guy can really organize a box. Let's make him a partner.
It's a cool game. It's a cool game.
That's just what his assignments he's getting from his boss. We got a bunch of messy papers. Nobody can organize them. There's no way someone could do this in one day.
Did you guys ever watch?
I can organize them in one day.
Did you guys ever watch the Clerks cartoon?
Yeah.
When they do the Pharaoh one where Randall wins the game Pharaoh and they take him to come move blocks to make a pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
Like what I forget what Flight of the Navigator or Last Starfighter. I don't remember
Last Starfighter, yeah.
Last Starfighter. But he goes, don't you have a machine that can do this? And the guy looks at him and goes, yes, and then just walks away.
All right. Jody, take us to the next one.
All right. So in this first one, not a lot happened, but a lot happens in this one. so much happens that it's animated because I'm just going to assume without spoiling where I'm going here, they could not have done this one in real life. And so they did animation to make a whole bunch of monsters in one show. The Things in Oakwood's Past. In this story, a news anchor is reporting on the town of Oakwood, Maine, which has this strange history because the town's population mysteriously disappeared back in 1821. The field reporter and his camera operator are sent over to Oakwood to cover the story. They interview the librarian, who also happens to be the president of the town's historical society. I'll tell you, just getting into this one, the paragraph on Wikipedia describing what happens in this episode, I will have to scroll just to get through this one paragraph. It is a huge amount of stuff happening in this.
You can paraphrase. You can summarize a little bit.
So anyway, there is this like time capsule that they find, or at least that's what everyone thinks is a time capsule. And once they open it up, they're going to find out what life was like. First, they think 200 years ago, but then they realize actually it's 200 years earlier than that. Well, actually it's 200. So 600 years ago, this time capsule was buried. And there's stuff in the myths and legends of the town that make them think that opening the time capsule will protect the town and take care of them. They're wrong. When they open up a lot of stuff happens, but to get down to it, when they open the time capsule, a bunch of monsters jump out and destroy the town. And that happens every 200 years. Every 200 years, the town gets tricked. They get destroyed because they keep opening the box and the monsters come out and destroy everybody again. because of a curse that the original settlers had put on the town. So they, at the end, the box seals back up. The date changes on it so that it looks like another, and it reburies itself so that in another 200 years, the box will once again come up and all the monsters will come out again and destroy the town. So there, I went into summary mode.
Mondo, go ahead.
All right, let me listen positives here. Mark Hamill.
Yeah. Cast is great.
Yeah, cast in this is fantastic. I actually did like the animation style. I kind of like that. I wouldn't say super minimalist, but minimalist to an extent. Animation style. And then this one also felt like it went on for 2 years because it was just being. I had so much stuff just being thrown at me every 2 seconds, and I had really hard time keeping track of it. In fairness, I had an edible before I watched it, and so this is probably not the best episode for me to watch while under the influence of legal medication, by the way. But it was a little bit too long, but I generally love Lovecraftian horror. I love the monster designs at the end. I thought that was pretty awesome, but I didn't like the fact that it then pulled back from Lovecraftian horror and went like, no, they come out of this. It was almost like a Pandora's box kind of thing, because you had also the female reporter or the female scientist going through all this. So I was kind of hoping they'd lean more into Lovecraft, but they kind of, went for that other style of ending, I guess, which words I can't think of. That's it.
Jody.
Yeah, I do agree this one drags a bit. Like the ending, the payoff with all the monsters is a bunch of cool monsters. I like that. I mean, I definitely would have liked it better if it had been like live action instead of animated. But as far as, an animated episode goes, there were cool monsters. But yeah, it's the same thing. The first one had like, from World War II all the way until modern times. This one has 600 years in the past to modern times, all in one episode. And, I like the idea of a cursed town, and, there were sins in the past that have caused us to have all these bad things happen to us now. That's a pretty common trope, but it just kind of drags up until the monsters finally get out.
Yeah, because so this has a reporter voiced by Daniel Harris, who's kind of like doing her reporter stuff and digging around, and she's the daughter of the mayor. I'm sorry, I got it flipped around. She is the teacher, and then Ron Livingston plays the reporter who's digging around trying to get the truth. And Mark Hamill plays her father / mayor. And it's like, they spend a lot of time doing the cool investigation bits, but there isn't much payoff. There is one really cool scene where they're in the classroom doing a slideshow projector, and then it starts kind of going off on its own, and like it's showing like the pictures, like the normal pictures are now all like macabre and like showing these disturbing scenes in front of like a classroom of kids and stuff.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
Traumatizing kids is hilarious, as we garnered by that last episode.
Exactly, but like it reminded me a lot of that scene from It, where the projector. I don't know why projectors, being possessed or whatever is so scary, but it works because because when you're stuck with someone watching a slideshow, it's terrifying enough because it's like the worst experience ever. Being forced to watch someone's slideshow, so it just adds another layer to it. Unleashes.
I luckily have never been forced to watch someone else's slideshow.
Oh god, it's awful.
Maybe you just need to get better friends.
Yeah, no, it's more like a relative kind of thing. Like not recently, but
just say their name. They don't listen to the podcast.
Yeah, I don't think I can remember their name. I was trying to blot it out from my memory. Anyways, I like the animation a lot. It felt very throwback a lot. It looked a lot like the Creepshow 2 animation style, which I like that. I like the 80s animation style, kind of like I think it was The Hobbit or like the Wall, that kind of the animation they use for that kind of stuff.
The Ralph Bakshi kind of films, Fire and Ice.
Yeah. So this is definitely the kind of thing that they could not have done live action. It's just they just don't have the budget for that kind of thing.
No, there's no way.
So I'm actually pretty down for it, especially if we can get Mark Hamill and Daniel Harris and Ron Livingston in on it. Sure, why not? If they're willing to do a voiceover work, to bring it to make that's a little special sauce. It's all good.
Have either of you watched Loudermilk on Netflix with Ron Livingston?
Mm-mm.
I haven't. I've heard of it.
It's very, very good. Highly recommend it. Just
Okay.
FYI.
But yeah, it definitely drags. Once it starts going, it gets fun, and there's some really cool deaths and stuff. Which again, could have been cool real life, but I'm happy to see like over the top goriness in animation style.
So yeah, that's these episodes.
Yeah, there isn't too much to them.
They're fine.
It's disappointing when it's that long, and it still somehow feels. How does it feel long and rushed at the same time? I think that's what kind of got me.
I do kind of wish every time I sit down to watch one of these Creepshow episodes, and this is just a kind of across the board. I generally enjoy them.
Yeah,
but I wish that there was single stories each time. Tales from the Crypt pulled off single stories every time. I don't always want the double story. The double story is too much sometimes, especially if you have two that are not the best, like two mediocre ones like this week. That's a lot of show to sit through.
I'm with you.
Yeah, especially if it's streaming, then what's it matter
Yeah,
how long the episodes are? So yeah, you Shudder / AMC executives that were probably listening, that's our feedback.
Have either of you seen the Bloody Bites anthology one on Screenbox?
I haven't yet. That's the one by Rob Zombie's brother, right?
I don't know. It's like 13 seasons.
Oh, okay, maybe that's
seasons.
13
seasons. Apparently there are something like that. Yeah, I don't know, but I just discovered it the other day, and it's pretty neat. But it reminds me of but again, just throwing out there another anthology that might be worth people checking out. But they do single stories in episode chunks. So if you don't like one, you can just take a little break and then come back to the next episode. It's kind of nice.
That's cool. All right. If you had to choose, which of these would you prefer, Mondo?
The second. Because I generally enjoyed the animation, and if anything stuck with me between the two episodes, it's the end scene of the second series with the cool looking Lovecraftian monsters, because I'm a sucker for animated monsters.
Jody?
Yeah, I'm in the same place. The first one's just kind of forgettable. I mean, forgettable to the point that when we got ready to record this just now and I pulled up the Wikipedia, I'm like, I have to remind myself what I watched a few days ago because I had already forgotten about it.
Yeah, at least the second one had a vibe. It felt very like October spooky season. You know, I could smell like apple cider kind of thing. The first one was a little bland. I do think there's definitely kernel of good story there, but I think it needed a couple revisions. I think both of them could have definitely used a little bit more, a little more on the story editing,
a little more,
a little elevation.
Oh, and I wasn't completely insane, Mondo. Little Bites is the movie that Rob Zombie's brother made.
Yes,
Spider One.
It might be okay.
Yeah.
I saw Powerman 5000.
That's what I was just thinking about.
God, I saw them in 99, maybe
right.
2000. I was working at Kmart still, my second job, and with Static X and Monster Magnet.
Ooh, yeah. That's the 90s lineup.
I didn't care for Static X, didn't care for Powerman 5000, but Monster Magnet fucking killed it.
Nice. Have you ever
and
seen
the other
Rob
bands
Zombie
weren't
live?
bad. I'm sorry. Yes, and it was very disappointing. I saw him in I was in middle school, so it was probably back in the olden days where the ancestors roamed. Back like 97, 98. And no, it wasn't very good. I was so excited to go to that. And yeah. Because when did Last Exorcista, when Astro Cube came out, it was 98.
Yeah,
97. But I was young. I was young, and I went to go see him live, and he just I thought it was the mix, but I thought they sounded like shit live.
I just remember I did actually see him around that same time with Pantera with White Zombie.
Yeah, that was
like that was a tour before
after that tour, I think.
Oh, really? I thought it was earlier because I think I was a freshman in high school.
So I was in 7th grade, and you're not 2 years older than me. So a year before, maybe. Then yeah, I don't know. Doesn't matter.
I'm just thinking about the concerts y'all are going to, and I was like, I went to Dave Matthews about that same time.
Well, this was the infamous concert. So in Oregon, they built they had the old stadium. They built a new one literally right next to it, so they could have multiple events in one night. So they had White Zombie and Pantera at one stadium, and then right next door they had Garth Brooks. So that was an interesting clashing of the crowds afterwards because they ended at the same time.
God, Garth Brooks is a fucking psychopath too.
All right, well, let's take a quick moment for a shout out.
Hi, I'm Alan Katz. I wrote and produced Tales from the Crypt. In fact, I co-created The Crypt Keeper and wrote every word he ever said. And you're listening to Dads from the Crypt.
Wow.
Oh, Al. We need more Al in our life. All right, Mondo, give us your song of the day. Oh, and for the record, since you were going to be here originally, I had 2 songs picked out. I was trying to decide. My wife was trying to get me to go with Joni Mitchell's The Circle Game or Cher's If I Could Turn Back Time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, time.
Yeah. Yes, we're not going to go with either of those. Jason, it's yours tonight. You do it. It's yours.
Well, I was going to do research and stuff, but then I didn't.
No, just pick one. You're on the spot now. Just pick one.
Fuck it. Cher, man. Let's put some Cher in our playlist.
Okay. The playlist I haven't updated in a year. Yeah,
exactly. Non-existent playlist. Someday in the future, some AI finds our show and decides to make a playlist for us.
I need to go through, and I'm actually going to eventually, if I ever decide to take time to do this, on company time, obviously, I will break it down by years because it makes more sense that way rather than having one giant playlist. That's just stupid.
But yeah, did you have one picked up, or did you?
The what?
Did you have one ready to do?
No, I guessed in the middle of the episode I was going to do Black Sabbath's Time Machine off of Dehumanizer, which is one of the coolest album covers of all time, and also was in the Wayne's World 2 soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe the first one. I don't remember. One of the two. There's only 2 of them, so it's a 50-50 shot to one of them.
Just try one. Try one, see what happens.
Yeah. You got a 50-50 chance.
That was the Ronnie James Dio era Sabbath.
Nice. All right, Jody, give us some more news.
All right. A couple of releases to talk about. We have a new movie with Samara Weaving. And so that's always a good thing. The movie is called Borderline. Yes, Borderline, from the writer of Cocaine Bear. Okay. He wrote and directed it this time. So this is his first directorial movie. Samara Weaving's in it, and Ray Nicholson, the son of Jack Nicholson, who just looks exactly like Jack Nicholson. So yeah.
He was in Smile too, and it's funny because when you hear it, you're kind of looking out for him. Like, when are we going to see him? It's unmistakable who he is.
Yeah, because he's Jack Nicholson. He just comes out looking exactly like him. In this one, it says a violent sociopath played by Nicholson escapes from a mental hospital and embarks on a dangerous rampage. His target, Sophia, played by Samara Weaving, a world-famous pop star. As an obsessive fan, he takes her hostage in her own home, delusionally believing they're getting married. And then it goes on from there. So sounds interesting. I want to give it a shot.
Samara Weaving is the pop star?
Yes.
Okay. So we need to come up with a good name for this pop star horror that we've been on lately.
I mean, how many are there really?
Trap, Smile 2, Borderline.
There you go.
That's 3. Okay.
3. I'll take it. That's
the last couple of years. Maybe it's a trend.
That's not a fucking trope.
Oh, and the segment from VHS.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not a full-length film though. Like, I don't know.
It's a trend. I'm calling it.
I think you're stretching. It's fine.
All right. Other releases. Opus came out in theaters. I've seen the trailer for this, and I still have no idea what it's about. It's an A24 movie.
Yeah,
I was going to go see it today.
John Malkovich and Ayo Edbury. I don't know how to say her name.
I like the actress a lot, but
yeah.
I read that it's kind of a musical.
I got no idea.
I know it's about music.
I was gonna go see it today, but I was like, I'm just not in the mood for a musical right now, so I passed.
I think John Malkovich plays the pop star or like a cult leader-y kind of pop star.
Exactly. Another pop star horror thriller.
That's true.
It's
right.
a thing.
That's
4 in 90 years of horror. So
well, 4 in like the last 2 years. So
I'm saying it's the start of the trend.
Stop siding with him, Jody. Come back over to
see where he's coming from on this one, though.
That's because he knows I'm right.
Just keep going. God damn it.
All right. Another movie that has just come out. Not really a horror, but horror adjacent enough. Novocaine has just released in theaters. It's the new Jack Quaid action movie where he plays a guy who can't feel pain. It's got Amber Midthunder from Prey. She was the Native American who fought the Predator.
That movie looks super fun.
It does look fun.
It does. Though my beef with it, though, like just because you can't feel pain doesn't mean like you're not hurt. So he's doing all this shit. But still,
they bring that up in the trailer, actually.
Well, I'm saying like if you like are losing blood profusely, you might not feel it, but eventually you're gonna pass out.
Yes, they talk about that in the actual trailer. I think at one point he says somebody, and he's stitching his wound up because he doesn't want to bleed out.
Okay, it just seems like he's
pretty
doing
sure
a lot to himself that like.
I could be making this shit up, but I'm pretty sure I saw it.
Speaking of Jack Quaid, I watched Companion for the second time. That movie holds up really well. I think it like even better the second time.
It's my number one.
Yeah, I mean there hasn't been that many movies yet, but yeah.
I still haven't decided if it's number one or if Hard Eyes is number one because I loved them both. So they're still back and forth for me. But I've heard that Novocaine is a really gory movie too. It's that gory kind of action. So, horror fans are going to like it.
Yeah.
As far as other news, a few days ago, Entertainment Weekly revealed the first images of Peter Dinklage as the Toxic Avenger. I don't know how I feel about them. I want to see this movie, but I don't know how I feel about these still images.
Here's what I feel like it's going to be. I think we're all going to have too high of a idea of the production standard. Yes. I think they're going full fucking trauma with this.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to be taken back at first, but you're going to love it.
Yeah. I've heard mostly good things about it.
Well, I feel like they're going unreleasable movie.
Yeah.
Well, but to be fair, like take any trauma movie and show it to a Hollywood executive and let's see
it. All unreleasable. Yeah.
Yes.
I do like the marketing campaign they've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they have, I think they did a thing where he shows up at Boston because they like dyed the river green.
Yeah, for St. Patrick's.
Cool.
Yeah, they had him show up to try to clean it up or something like that, or coming out of the river. That was cool.
And realistically, I don't think you're going to get a guy like Peter Dinklage to sign off if it just looks, horrendous. So I think it's going to go full trauma, and I think we're going to kind of love it.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it because just looking at it as this is this big Hollywood movie with stars in it, and then you see the first image. The first image did not make me go, "Oh, wow, this looks great."
Well,
but I don't want to
see a trauma movie. Yes, I could get behind it.
But that's what I want. My Toxic Avenger. Like, I don't want to be taken to a stupid serious level. And I don't know a lot of these people that are in the movie, but I wonder if all of them might have some kind of fondness for trauma.
Sure.
And they're like, "This is going to be fucking cool. Let's do it."
Well, someone good is playing the bad guy. Is it Daniel Radcliffe or?
Yeah, I think Daniel Radcliffe's in it.
Sorry, no, it's Elijah Wood. So I'm down for like
Elijah Wood,
of course.
Yeah. Well, how are we even worried this is going to have any problems? I really mean that. Like,
yeah. Have y'all been watching Yellow Jacket? Speaking of Elijah Wood,
I have not seen a single episode. Sadly,
I'm staying on it this time. Like I'm staying caught up, and he's great. He's just such a weird little man.
Yeah, he was great last season. It's funny because I was gonna start watching it, but someone's internet was down, so I couldn't. So I dove into Invincible, and like that's my show of the moment. And then I'll watch
Invincible. The main character, the Superman character, whatever. He's in Mortal Kombat 1.
Oh,
yep. Omni-Man.
Invincible's a great show too, though.
So good.
Yeah, I really need to get into Yellow Jackets. I've heard nothing but good things about it, but
it's good. I think you'd like it.
It's on my list of that's just fucking tall of shit to watch.
Especially with shows. It's hard to get into a show. It's commitment.
It's a big commitment.
Yeah.
All right. Another piece of news that I'm not sure how I feel about. There is a new Starship Troopers movie Coming from Neil Blomkamp, the guy behind District 21, Elysium, Chappie. I don't know because
District 9.
Yeah.
This was only one.
But
I'm excited. I love the original Starship Troopers.
I love Starship Troopers, but it's a parody of what the original novel was about.
Exactly. So I've read the novel too. So I kind of want to see someone like try to take it seriously.
The kind of concern is that Blomkamp with the original novel is
it's pro-fascist.
Yeah.
Robert Heinlein's pro-fascist.
Very much so. I think that's kind of the worry behind it, is that they make it more towards that. Also, and what's crazy is District 9 was pretty much a movie that was anti-apartheid.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. I think it'll be fine. I've never seen the original. So
oh man, Starship.
Wait, you've never seen Starship Troopers?
Dude, I've never seen Starship Troopers.
It is so much
We
fun.
are covering that on the show.
Yes.
My mind's blown. I saw that opening weekends.
I love that one.
I love that movie so much.
Under one condition. We make it patron only.
Okay. Sure.
Because we still have to do nothing but trouble, by the way.
That we do.
They're on our Patreon list, but oh man, my mind's got blown right now. I fucking love that movie. That movie is an amazing cast. It's just the effects hold up really, really well for a big budget like monster movie. I love Neil Blomkamp's vision.
What's that?
I said I love Neil Blomkamp as a director, and like his like idea for sci-fi is always impressive. Even like Elysium, which was very ho-hum, like story-wise, it still looked amazing. So I'm like really excited about this. And at one point, he was going to do like Aliens 2.5. It was supposed to be like a direct sequel to the second Alien. And I was really excited for that because he had some really cool stuff going there that they were kind of teasing. And it just fell through. And I like Alien 3, and I have, some fond things for Alien 4 and whatnot, but they really kind of like, as far as continuing Aliens, they kind of dropped the ball on that. So I was very keen to see what he would have done with that. And it's one of those things I'm still a little bitter we never got that.
I think if there is a director that could pick up Starship Troopers and do something interesting with it, he is the right guy. It's going to be hard to follow Paul Verhoeven because he is such he makes a certain kind of movie that nobody else can make. But yeah, I think he could do something. I'm cautious.
His movie is basically like a daytime parody. Like if someone made a daytime soap opera off the events of the book, that was like unintentionally hilarious. That's what the original Starship Troopers is. I'd be interested to see someone do like a slightly still satirical, but like a more serious,
right?
But still like big and dumb in other ways.
That's what I love so much about the original movie. Is it's big and dumb. Like you can watch it just as a big action movie, but it also is really smart. Like you don't have to. It doesn't have to be smart. You don't have to like pay attention to that side of things. You can
thank Christ.
Bugs blow up, but what's that?
I said, "Oh, thank Christ!" I'll be smart to watch.
I say you can just watch it as big explosions, and it's fun.
It's got some of the greatest co-ed shower scenes you ever seen.
I was gonna say it's co-ed showers, and when did this movie come out? Because I was really into that. What? No, when did the original Starship Troopers come out?
I think 97.
97, so 17. Yeah, of course. The co-ed showers were my favorite part of the movie at the time.
I'm younger than you guys, but it's fine.
That's fine. All right, last piece of news.
You were seeing White Zombie at in middle school, but you skipped out on Starship Troopers.
That just means I'm cooler than you. We all know how cool heavy metal is.
Well, I did both, so there.
Me too. I was into horror and heavy metal and Dungeons and Dragons, and but I played football and wrestled. They kind of offset that by a little bit.
Yeah,
I was also in a band. That was pretty cool.
I was a late bloomer. I didn't start into horror until I was like 16, 17, unless you're counting Goosebumps. So it took me a while to get into it.
Yeah,
I count them because the spark was there.
It was. It was working on it. All right. And the biggest piece of news for me personally, because I'm so excited about it, Chattanooga Film Fest has released their first wave of films. Just like always, it looks like it's going to be a great time. June 20th through 28th, So the in-person part will be June 20th through 22nd. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then the rest of the time is the virtual side. And we've been doing the virtual side since I guess COVID. That's when they started doing it. So for 5 years now, this is, I guess, their 6th year that they're doing virtual. They really want to emphasize that and do a great job with it. It's not like a half experience. It's just a different experience. I always do both now that they're back in person. A few highlights. They're going to have Clay McLeod Chapman will be there again doing his show. And if you have never had a chance to see Clay in person, it is an experience and it's great.
It's a must see. He's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. They're doing a screening of The Craft with the screenwriter who wrote The Craft, and a new short film written by the same guy. So never before seen. Let's see. They're going to have stand-up comedy. They're going to have a thing about The Crow. Some of the movies that they're going to have, we get to see the Pee Pee Poo Poo Man, which is the name of one of the movies they're screening this year.
Wait, the what?
The Pee Pee Poo Poo Man.
That's going to be this year's pound cake.
Yeah, it absolutely will be. Yeah, no, it's a great lineup. One thing they're doing this year for the in-person part that I did not think that I would be contemplating right now, but I am definitely contemplating, is they're going to be doing free tattoos at CFF. The designs are going to be, one is designed by the person doing the tattoos, who's their local person in Chattanooga. The other design, though, is by Travis Knight, who does all of CFF's artwork and their t-shirts and everything. If you've seen their stuff, Travis does such cool work. He does this cool, like, 3D, like the blue layer and the red layer, and you can see different pictures in different ways when you look at it. So Travis's involvement definitely has me contemplating getting something for the first time. I don't have anything yet.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to do it. So you can either be with me or against me.
Okay, there we go then. I told my wife, I said, I kind of would like to have been surprised by it, just show up and they're doing it, because my impulsive side would absolutely go for it without a second thought. I have to give my other side a chance to come out and kind of, go back and forth, but I 99% chance that I will be leaving with something.
Yeah. I just can't decide where yet, because my body's filling up pretty quick here.
I'm a blank template. They can do something.
Back of your head.
Let's not go with that. When I think back of the head tattoos, I think of Becky with Kevin James with his big old swastika on the back of his head. Somehow that just doesn't appeal.
Or King of the Hill, where they find out that Hank has Bill's name tattooed on the back of his head. Oh, let me show off too my Ladybird t-shirt. Pure Georgia Bloodhound from of.void on Instagram makes really cool King of the Hill stuff. And his ideologies align with mine, which I like spending money with companies that we share the same way.
But just to wrap up the Chattanooga Film Fest talk for now, if you want to go or intend either in person or virtually, you can go to chatfilmfest.org, and badges are available right now for purchase for both versions or all of it.
Sure.
And that's just the first wave that's been announced so far. I didn't mention all the movies because they're all new movies. They're all premieres and stuff that nobody would recognize yet. So, there's all kinds of good stuff. And that's just the first wave. There's going to be a lot more. I've been doing Chattanooga Film Fest since COVID. I was going to attend in person that year. Couldn't, because, nobody did anything in person. But then we did, I think, 3 years of virtual. And the last couple of years I've been in person. Mondo went last year, or not last year, the year before.
Year before last. Well, last year, one of my good friends had the audacity to have his wedding on that weekend.
I know.
Yeah.
And you made sure afterwards to tell everybody, do not plan anything in June, right? So no more weddings this year.
Yeah. Luckily, most people that are really, really important to me that I couldn't miss their wedding, they're either married or they don't exist anymore. So, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
It only exists to you.
But most of them are already married or not close enough to me to where I'd have to miss something I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you've ever done any So if you can't make the trip down to Chattanooga, if you've ever done any virtual fest in the past, like Panic Fest does some stuff, and when I've done other fest, it's nice because you get to watch the movies and they have a decent selection. But I feel like CFF really goes out on their virtual side in a way that the others don't. They want to involve people. There's a Discord that you can be involved in chat, talk with the filmmakers directly. They have more films available, I think. They do their secret red eye screenings every night. That's usually some weird movie that from any time period. You have no idea what they're going to show in those movies. And I always love being surprised by it. So it's a great time. I'm excited again. Every year I tell Chris, who is in charge of it, he's been on our show, I like, just let me be involved in whatever way you want me to, because I just want to be a part of this thing. It's awesome.
And as it's looking, we'll both be there again this year. So if you're coming, come say hi.
Yeah, absolutely. I got new stickers. I got our new logo on a whole bunch of big old stickers. So come get one.
We'll sell them to you for just $8 a piece. You'll have cash. Or free. If you just want, you can have one.
Thank you, Joe. Is that everything?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Can I throw out one piece?
Sure.
Grindhouse Video just released the pre-order for the 4K edition of the Beyond. You get a copy of the Beyond in 4K, a copy of the composer's cut, only seen if you've been to one of the festivals where they show it at. That one's not in 4K, but it does have the new 5.1 mix. You get a copy of Seven Doors of Death, which is when a U.S. production company got a hold of the print and re-released it for U.S. audiences. Different score on there. And right now you get the Ibon box. You get the cool eyeball with it. I definitely pre-ordered mine. I'm bummed I missed out on the Joe edition, but it was sold out in 5 minutes, so it's not meant to be. And I'm super stoked for this. It's my favorite movie, and I'll be watching it again, as I will many more times in my life.
It just reminded me, one other of Mondo's favorite movies is getting a 4K release. Arrow Video is putting out Jason X in a limited 4K. Yeah, just $35 too. Like, it's a real affordable one. That and Jason Goes to Hell are both coming out on 4K through Arrow.
And especially with impending threat of tariffs, a lot of movies are pressed in Canada, just FYI. So if you order it now, you might be saving yourself a few bucks.
Yeah.
There you go.
One other piece is news from Eli Roth is doing a new horror production company called the Horror Section. They're still kind of saying what it's going to be, but it's going to be multimedia, possibly like podcasts, video games, movies, TV shows, all kinds of things of fresh IPs. But the really cool thing is that it's part also crowdfunding. So you as fans can sign up. They haven't launched. You can sign up to like be notified of it, early burn stuff. They haven't said like what the tiers are going to be or what it's going to really entail, or if you have like direct input, like you can like vote on things that you like or don't like. But that's all really cool. So that's on the horror section studios.com. And the actually founder of the company is our friend John Schnars from Bully Good Horror.
Is he the founder or just the CEO?
I think he's the founder.
Oh, the article said CEO. That's cool.
Yeah, well, he's the CEO. I think he's part. Okay, he's one of the founders. I don't know if he's like.
Either way, it's pretty badass. We're splitting hairs here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so definitely check that out. We'll definitely be following that and have more news. I signed up for the early bird access just to see what the deal is. So I'm interested to see what they have in store. But I am down for that. Okay, and then to wrap things up, I got some more dad jokes because I thought that was really fun. That sounds like something.
I shenaned once. I'll never shenan
Just in time for St. Patrick's Day.
All right, these are more just like one-liners. This actually goes really well with that. My Visa card was declined, so the cashier had to ask for my cardigan.
It's it existed. Okay,
yeah.
New rule. They have to be unique ones we write ourselves.
No, I'm stealing these.
Hold on. I have an idea. So, how about us three every week? For the next 3 weeks, we'll come up with our own dad jokes. Every week, we each get one. At the end of 3 weeks, our listeners can vote on who gave the best dad jokes. That winner will get a gift card to Fright Rags, paid for by the other two hosts.
All right, well, so we can see how that works. Like ones that we write ourselves or ones that we find.
We have to write them ourselves.
Honor system here.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of kids I can run these by.
I know.
I was thinking, like, I can make them roll their eyes at something I say really easily. I'm really good at that.
Just nice.
My friend that kept annoying me with bird puns, but two can play at this game.
I don't like a segment anymore.
Hey, how much does a pirate charge for ear piecings?
You
got
it. Something R. Yeah.
A buccaneer.
God damn it. If you're still listening to this, God bless you. If you haven't just fucking punched your radio in disgust as you drive on the information superhighway.
Okay. I recently spotted an albino Dalmatian. It was the least I could do for him.
Yeah, dude. You know what, guys? It's been a good run.
Wait, hold on.
The podcast is officially over at this point.
This is the grand finale. I once got kidnapped by a mime. He did unspeakable things to me.
I'm gonna kick Jason in the shins next time I see him. I'm just pointing it out. And I kick him higher, but I'm short and have little legs, so it's about as high as I'm able to get him. Kicking him in the shin. When I was a young man, this is a joke. It's not a dad joke. When I was a young man working for Kmart again, the George Foreman grill was a hot commodity back in 1999.
Oh man!
When they went on sale, it was like fucking, like, I hate to say it, it was crazy. People would fucking come in for sales. And I remember this guy. Did you ever have those people that you worked with when you were like 16 and they were like in their late 30s? And at the time you're like, oh man, Chris is cool. But in hindsight, look back and like, oh, Chris had a lot of problems.
Chris was doing the same job as me.
Yes. This guy, Chris, was telling an old woman, I'm so sorry we're sold out of the George Foreman grills. And she says, you're always sold out, and then kicked the shit out of his shins. And to this day, it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Because
that's great.
I think he called her a bitch afterwards, but not like aggressively, more like, ow, bitch.
I think you're allowed one. You get to call a customer whatever you want after they kick you. Like you get to call them one name.
Definitely. I remember I was on my lunch break at a Wendy's once, and the line was like backed up, and they were fucking up the orders and everything. And someone got so mad, they took their sandwich, like tossed it from like the middle of the restaurant, and then went all the way through like the service window into the back. And we're like, that was a hell of a throw. Respect.
I may have told us one of my favorite times ever working at Del Taco was a guy comes to the drive-thru and asks for 8-piece chicken wings. And we say, yeah, we don't have chicken wings here. And he goes, yes, you do. I want 8-piece or however many pieces. Doesn't matter. And we're like, no, we don't sell chicken wings. He goes, you motherfuckers are KFC and you don't sell chicken wings. And I said, we're Del Taco. KFC is next door. He pulls through to the drive-thru window. He waves at the door. He goes, I'm so sorry about that, guys. I really thought you guys were fucking with me.
That's funny.
Oh man.
And we were laughing our asses off at that point. First, we're like, this guy sucks. And like, oh, he apologized. It was funny.
Dude, I worked at Arby's drive-thru for a couple of years, and there's always strange things that happen at drive-thrus. It's just it's a magnet. That was back when they had the 5 for $5 sandwiches, and people would order 25 sandwiches for $5, and like that would stress me the fuck out. And my dad, his office was just like a block away, So sometimes he'd come by and ask for 50 sandwiches just to mess with me.
Like we had the 30-cent tacos. We had people come through and be like, I want 300 tacos. Like, well, yeah, it's going to take a little while. Why? Because we had to fucking make them. Like, what do you think happened?
300 tacos.
Yeah.
Pull them out of the taco box.
Yeah. I didn't say no. I said it's just going to take some time. That's a reasonable fucking statement in this scenario.
So we've all worked fast food then, because I used to work at Sonic when that was my first job. And so the problem with working at Sonic, if you're not around them, it's a car hop kind of thing where you walk up to the cars and deliver the food. Because everyone's in their own little cars, though, they feel like they're in their own little domain, and you get to bother them by bringing them food. And so, like, they'd roll down the window and blow smoke directly in my face.
Oh no!
Oh god!
Hot, sweaty Southern women would reach in their bras and pull out like wet dollar bills and hand them to me. Like, it was a fun job.
It
wasn't
like
hairy men with no shirts and overalls. Blowing smoke in my face and saying, "You're not a pretty girl." Thank you. I'm glad you know.
Fuck you, buddy. I'll be the fuck I want.
Also, that's a grown adult who's like disappointed that it's not a 16-year-old girl coming out to deliver his food. So, there's questions that need to be asked.
That's a thing. I recently went to a new coffee shop in town, which I'll never be going to again. Not a knock on it, just not my thing. I was going to work and I was driving by the bank. So I need to pick up money for my haircut because he only takes cash. And in there's a espresso shop. Like it's always been there and just had a revolving door of owners. So I'm like, well, fuck it. It's a drive-through only. I'll drive through and get a cup of coffee. It's one of those. I don't know if you guys have these like lingerie coffee shops.
I have heard of them.
I've heard of them, but I've never been the one.
Yeah.
It is just, I don't know. Like it's just awkward to me. Like I pulled the window. I was like, oh, I did not expect this. I see you pour my coffee out of that Folgers coffee pot over there, or that Mr. Coffee. I'm not too excited about this now. I just want a good cup of coffee.
Just have a Keurig.
Yeah, but I was just like, it just kind of threw me off. And it's not a knock to anybody that's making money that way. Good for you, like seriously, or anybody that enjoys that. But it's just was awkward to me.
If I'm going out and spending money on coffee to have someone else prepare it, I want a nice cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Like,
this is how we know we're not.
I don't really care what you're wearing. Just give me a good cup, man.
You can wear fucking anything if the coffee's fucking good. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, sure.
That's how you know we're old.
First. That's step one.
Going back to old jobs, I was a young man working at Target. This is probably 2000, I don't know, 3 maybe. And we used to have right by us, we had a Panda Express inside of the grocery store. So we go there one day because we only got 30-minute lunch breaks because, whatever. And they go, we order our stuff, and my coworker orders the orange chicken, and the woman shoves the spoon in the orange chicken, and a fucking giant ass cricket hops out of it. She looks at us in horror, and Sean, without fucking breaking eye contact, goes, "I still want the orange chicken."
He's like, "No, I paid for that cricket."
Yeah,
put it back in there.
The cricket. I have 30 minutes to eat. I'm gonna eat that fucking orange chicken. And you want to know what?
Supposedly, it's a high source of protein. So
yeah. You want to know what? Respect. Like your respect. Like,
hey man, when you have something specific that you're wanting to eat too, like that's the only thing you want at that point. So yeah,
for me, it's the fact that he just deadpanned the whole thing. Like he didn't even react to the cricket jumping out of it.
The orange chicken's good, and at least like usually the orange chicken's like twice as big as the other ones. So come on.
Well, dude, it's twice as big because it's fucking breading. It's a shower, not a grower. It's not that impressive. It's
that popular.
Yeah,
they usually
make twice as much. It's popular but unsatisfying, which is not mutually exclusive. But I can't do orange chicken. Too much breading, too sweet.
Just saying his size doesn't equal satisfaction.
Yeah, 100%. Right? I mean, it makes sense when you think about it. We're not going to debate this. We're just going to just trickle on out to the ether.
I'm just let that one go.
And are you a size queen, Jason?
I don't think anyone's ever called me queen before, but if
it's the first time for everything, right?
If the what ring fits.
The what ring? Well, I don't know what ring. The wedding ring?
Yeah, the wedding ring.
The rings of Saturn.
The Aura ring.
You have to be more specific.
I'll leave that up to your imagination.
This is our regular segment. Mondo tries to get Jason to say something embarrassing.
He's talking about cock, ladies and gentlemen. You want to say cock.
If you hadn't picked up on it yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
There's somebody listening right now going, what are they talking about? And
I'm not even going to try to monetize this episode on YouTube.
Wait, hold on a second. We're making money on some of these episodes?
Not monetize, but doing ads.
Oh, okay.
Paying for it.
Yeah,
paying for it.
What the fuck?
All right. We do all the work and then we pay them.
Exactly.
This seems like a good time to wrap this little shindig up.
Okay, well, that wraps up another episode, folks. We appreciate everyone for listening. Really appreciate if you'll give us a rating review on iTunes, a rating on Spotify, like and subscribe on YouTube, and follow us at Dads from the Crypt Talk on TikTok. And with that, we thank you for listening to Dads from the Crypt.
Are cock rings size like regular rings? Is there like, do they have like, you go on Amazon and get a cock ring sizing kit?
Follow Dads from the Crypt on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or I will follow you to the grave. No, seriously, you really should watch. But be careful what you ask for. You may get it.